Hi, thanks for joining me today. So, it's admittedly taken me a bit to get everything together, ready to put the head back together, but I'm finally ready to do it, and Colorado winter decides to show up. A little bit late for Christmas, if you ask me, but it is what it is. So, I've had the space heater kind of blowing on the head here for a little bit, just kind of warm things up. The races that I'm installing have been in the freezer, and I've got a couple nice wood blocks, as well as the old bearing races to help drive things in there. This bottom one specifically sits a little bit below the surface, so if I was going at it with just a wood block, I wouldn't be able to get it seated all the way. I've also taken a very, very fine sandpaper to the inside of this. I didn't want to make any low spots or take out a lot of material or anything like that. I just wanted to smooth out some of the scratches and little things from previous head bearing installs. So that's the goal here. Let me show you some of the other parts I have together. Over here on the workbench, I've got all these nice powder coated parts, the rest of the bearings, an extra wood block, but these parts came out beautifully. And I'm excited to install those. Probably won't get to it tonight because honestly it's still rather cold in the garage. So I'm gonna get this done while the head's still pretty warm. I've got the new brace. I just put a little sheen of WD-40 on the outside of it there. Wish me luck. Almost flush with the surface now. That's going very well. Feels pretty even. I think that one's fully seated. That went very well. And when driving in using the old on the bottom, a lot of the those that I saw that recommended that method would make a slit in the side of one of that old bearing race so that it's easier to remove that piece after all is said and done. But I'm going to take a chance and we'll just find out if that's necessary or not. And just from the eyeball, it looks and also feels like it's going in really straight. And that right there is flush with the surface, but I can feel a pretty sizable gap. So I know that needs to go in farther. Okay, so I lost all the audio from the part where I explained this on video, but when driving in a new bearing race with an old bearing race, make sure you've got the correct side facing each other. In this case, the narrow side facing the narrow side. This is to prevent damage to the new bearing race. Alright, I've got everything greased up here. Ready to go. Got the upper bearing packed and ready to install. So also grease the upper and lower races in the head. Feels really good so far. Made myself a custom tool for tightening that down. Just a laser cut pattern. And then I very poorly welded some sockets on there so I can use my torque wrench, which has been set to 11 foot-pounds. So now we'll turn this back and forth 5 to 6 times. And tighten it again. I'm just going to keep doing this until I don't get movement, I think, out of this top. Or maybe just a couple more times and then call it good. So now it's time for the lock washer and the lock nut. And I'm using another tool I made at work. I think that'll be good. And I might want to make some adjustments on this, so I'm actually going to bend those tabs in later. Alright, now I can install this bad boy. Oh, what you know it, I can't leave those unbent. Well, alright. Let's try this again. That looks sweet. Okay, I've got all the pinch hardware pre-installed. Now I just need to install these. And I might have mentioned this before, but these were very difficult to find in this condition with the turn signal mount here still intact. So pretty happy about those. Yeah, I think I'm going to grease that rubber a little. Right side. I'm going to just loosely bolt this up here so that I have the correct spacing on these ears. That's snazzy. And of course I polished up the fork legs while they were off the bike. So I just wanted to show you real quick, there are two punch marks right there and one right there for lining up these valves with. So that's what those are all about. Really glad I didn't grind those off for just some dumb reason. I'm going to tighten the lower fork bridge pinch bolts, and these get tightened to 25 foot-pounds. The torque spec on this upper nut is 72 foot-pounds, and I've got another custom-made tool for that. Hopefully this one works out the way I hope it will. I had to go back and double check. It does say 72, so that's what I'm going to. Oh, there it is. These upper fork bridge bolts are 16 foot-pounds. installing this upper pinch bolt. And this gets tightened to 8 foot-pounds. I'm really happy with the progress here so far today. Things are looking really good. But I wanted to go a little bit farther with it. I slapped this chrome fender that I got in there for a little bit of mock-up, and you know, really on the fence on this one. Is the chrome isn't in perfect shape, but it does look cool. I like it's a lot slimmer than the original front fender. So what I might do, I have a couple options here. A, leave it as is. A couple scratches ain't gonna hurt nobody. It's not like the rest of the bike is anywhere near perfect by any means. B, sandblast it and powder coat it red. Or C, have the other fender painted, which I'll probably have the other fender painted up when I do, you know, side panels and the shroud and rear fender, just so that I have that option if I decide I don't like this one, or maybe I like the other one better after it's painted up. Who knows? So what I want to do now is install the bracket that goes here. There's a little clip that holds the cable harness, so that'll keep that out of the way. And then I want to throw the front wheel and the handlebars back on so that it can sit on 2 wheels for the first time in a long time, and we can actually move it back in the garage a little bit and move it around. That'll be nice. Also free up my floor jack. Brake splitter for the front brakes goes behind it, so it goes on there like that with the clip pointing towards the left of the vehicle. Get that harness back up in there. I've got all new stainless brake lines on the way, so pretty excited about that. Nice. So that'll hold those wires up and out of the way. All right. Speedo drive on the left side, and there's a little stop right here that needs to be on the back side of that. I know the wheel's dirty, don't worry, it's coming off again. So I'll slowly set the front down here. That's sitting all the way on it. When put the caps on, gotta remember these have a arrow with F, means towards the front. I'll just go ahead and rest these up here. I'm gonna get the new chrome dog bone in place. Hard part's lining these up, you know, this way off of memory. It's been so dang long, but I remember it was pretty straight with the forks, and then back just a little bit. So out there straight, we'll go back just a hair. We'll see how I like it there. Ignition cylinder and steering lock. This took a good bit of working with lubrication to get the steering lock working, but I finally got it freed up, and it's just a lot less crusty in general. So something was really stuck in there. I'm gonna go ahead and plug this in from here. Don't worry, that was just one of the bolts that I needed. There we go. Well, the camera died while I was screwing those on, but it's in. Next up is instrument cluster. This is a replacement I got from an 82. I was pretty happy to find it in the shape that it's in. I've made some really good progress on this here today, but I think I need to cut it off there just so this video doesn't get too long. Next time we'll be putting the levers and perches back on. Maybe some brake parts will show up. Maybe we'll put some of the rear fender stuff on. Who knows? Either way, hit that like and subscribe button so you don't miss any more videos on this beauty. It's going to be really nice once everything's together. Catch you next time.